Hello and welcome to my November TBR. I don't know how it's the end of October. I know I say this every single month, but this is just ridiculous at this point. Now, it's so ridiculous that it's the end of October that I have not yet worked out what I want to read in November. So I thought I'd bring you with me while I go through my shelves a little bit and try to pick out my choices, and then we will have a chat about what it is that I choose. Alright, so I don't think there's anything from right at the top. In fact, I don't think there's anything on the top shelf that I haven't read at all. But this shelf. So I have recently read these two books. I really love them. So I think book 3, which is the last of the Night Huntress World series, You Are Coming With Me. Pop you down there. No doubt we'll see it again in a minute. And then what else have we got? Oh, Felicity Heaton, hiding behind Jane Austen. The next one is this one. I think in the series, yes. Haunted by the King of Death. Okay, we'll pop that one on the pile. I've not got anything on this shelf except for this shelf. As you can see, my shelves have started overflowing a bit. So I've got some of my newer books on here. And Mate is looking very tempting, so that can go on the pile. I never have to check over this side because this is my beautiful Alona Andrews side, and we know I've read all of those already. So then what else do I want to read? Hang on a minute. Let's come down a little bit. I should probably read this one actually, to be fair. I'm a bit mixed on it. I've heard some quite mixed things, but that can go on the pile. In fact, let's move the pile further down. Now I'm further down. We definitely need to read. Where is it? All the way down at the bottom. Only and Forever, because that one's on the must-read list. We'll read this one. I've been reading this series. And then I also kind of fancy... Actually, if we go back up a bit, I might read this one too, because I saw someone talking about it. That's there. How many is that? Do you know what? Let's talk about those and see where we get to. Okay, so let's go through what I've got in my pile. I did add one more extra book as well, which I will show you shortly. So my pile is now the opposite order to what you saw because I've just been stacking them on top of each other. So let's start with Along Came a Moor by Alexis Daria. So like I said, this is one that I saw someone mention recently and I've been meaning to pick up anyway. It's quite unusual for me for this one for this year in that I haven't read it yet and I've owned it for a few months. So definitely want to get to it. I know very little about it. So I read the 2 earlier books in the series. You Have Me at Hola and A Lot Like Adios. Particularly the second one I loved. I enjoyed both of them, but I really loved the second one. So I know very little about it, but it's a contemporary romance. It should be good. And then we also had, what was this one? Oh, Break by Brianna Michaels. So I didn't mention this one very much, I don't think, when I picked it off my shelves. But this is the Next Level series that I've been working my way through and really loving. I read Risk this month and it was so good. So this is actually the most recent book in the series. So this will catch me up if I do read it. And I can't see why I wouldn't, because I have been enjoying them. They are like super steamy, super good time, very little angst, just a lot of fun. And then Only and Forever by Chloe Lisa. So I said I have to read this one. That is because this is now the oldest book on my shelves that I haven't read. And the reason that this is exciting is that this released in 2024. So I am finally onto last year books on my shelves, which is kind of exciting to have caught up that far. And I don't have anywhere near as many books outstanding from 2024 at this point now as I had for 2023 this time last year. So really excited. This is the last book in the Bergman Brothers series. I only recently read the 6th book, like books 1 to 5 I read pretty much when they released, and then I just completely paused on the 6th one for some reason. But excited to go back into this. It's another contemporary romance, but these books are just, they make you feel a lot. Be kind of nice to wrap this series up. And then Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This was one that released this month. I love Bride. When I read it, this is the sequel to that. It's trailed as a relationship at the end of Bride as well. I really love the Ali Hazelwood books that I have read, and I'm really excited to get into this. You can tell from like Bride how much she loves paranormal romance. She is a true paranormal romance fan, and really excited to get to this. I've seen so many people who like similar books to me really love this, so I definitely want to pick it up really soon. It's not just that it's on my shelves, it's just like I really want to get to it. So then we had Haunted by the King of Death by Felicity Heaton, and I have been reading my way through the Eternal Mates series, so I will almost certainly pick this one up. They are quite easy to read as well, so usually a bit of fun. And this one is, let's find out, Vampire and a Phantom. Interesting. I think we've had vampires earlier in this series. I don't really remember. There's like so many, like basically every type of paranormal species, I can't think of the right word, that you could have is in this series. So it's a good fun. You can obviously tell as well, like everyone else is there going, oh, it's the end of October, it's the end of all the paranormal things. No. The paranormal will continue. I am really fully back into it, so it will probably keep ramping up and up from this point onwards. And then, speaking of, we have got Wicked All Night by Janine Frost. I have recently read the first 2 books in the Night Rebel trilogy, which is a spin-off series in the Night Huntress world, which I've been meaning to read for ages and just randomly decided to pick them up. Obsessed. I love Janine Frost so much, and it's just made me like, why didn't I read them sooner? Excitingly, she has just done a cover reveal for her book for next year, so that's another one to look forward to. But yeah, this will finish me off for the Night Huntress world. There are a couple of other books I haven't read, but they are like a different character's point of view of books I have read, which isn't really my jam. But really looking forward to this because I just love her writing so much. And then I actually picked this one up in a different order on the shelves, but it's ended up at the bottom of the pile. We have got The Devil She Knows by Alexandria Bellafleur. Now, I am a bit more on the fence about this one. I'll be honest, I was on the fence about whether to buy it or not, and then discovered I had already pre-ordered it. So, what on me, I guess. But this one is a sapphic paranormal, but from everything I've heard, it reads very contemporary. It like reads as a contemporary, but it has paranormal in it. So I think knowing that going in will help. I have enjoyed Alexandria Bellafleur's books in the past, but they have been contemporaries. So we'll see. If it calls me, I will read it. If it doesn't, I won't. Who knows? But the extra book that I picked up that I didn't show from my shelves is one that I actually started months and months ago, and the time has definitely come to continue. That is Raising Steam by Terry Pratchett. So I'm really not very far through. Like, you can barely even see my bookmark around the end papers. But yeah, I need to unpause this. I, for the last few years, have been reading one Discworld book a year. I'm only reading the adult ones. I haven't been reading the younger ones at all. But that means that this is the last one for me to finish a very long-term project. Like, I was at university when I started reading this series. That is a very long time ago at this point in time. But yeah, I just need to take some time to read it. I'm not going to necessarily aim to finish it this month, but I'd like to get at least halfway through, so that in December I've not got to read the entire thing to meet my goal of finishing this particular series. But yeah, I really want to get to it. You might have noticed, incidentally, that I had my, whatever it was, 15 series that I wanted to make sure I finished this year, and that's sort of gone a bit out the window. As it happens, I have got 3 books from that list on my TBR this month. That is entirely coincidental. I decided I had too many rules in my TBR and that my brain wasn't working for those. And obviously my reading volumes have been really up and down as well. So I completely abandoned it and we're just seeing where it goes. But I am actually really happy with how my series progress is tracking happily as well. I haven't got any more where like my oldest unread book is the start of a series, which I obviously had for a little while. There were quite a few of them in a row. So that should help as well. I do want to read probably a couple of books that aren't on this list. I will play it by ear. It will depend on my mood and other things. Also, I do try to pick extra books to balance out the repping books I read. So I try and make sure that every month I'm reading at least a couple of self-help books, at least a couple of books by BIPOC authors, things like that, just to make sure that there is continued diversity in my reading, even if I am not reading quite as much. But I'm pretty happy, I think. Can she pick this up without everything falling over? Probably not. But there we go. I think that's a pretty decent bunch. I'm happy with that. For something that literally I just picked off my shelves as I went. Let me know what you were planning to read in November. Let me know if you've got any thoughts on any of the books that I'm reading. And I will speak to you soon. Bye.